Good evening and thank you for joining us. This is News 360 from the news home here in Accra. I am Isa Moni. And I am AC Benewanyami. Let's look at our headlines this evening.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by
farmers in the northern region fear of possible food shortage owing to the fall armyworm, as families are already skipping meals due to the distractions of their crops.
Portions of Chinchimso Al-Hidayah Primary School block caves in, threatening lives of pupils and teachers.
Also coming up, police administration urges the public to be wary of internet and social media deals.
Later in international news, fighting between two rebel groups broke out on Sunday in South Sudan's southern equatorial region.
Details of these stories and more, including sports and entertainment, all coming up in the next 1 hour. Stay with us.
And beginning the news tonight, the fall armyworm invasion on farms in the northern region has left most farmers and their families helpless. Farmers and their families are already feeling the impact of the worm invasion as they have to skip meals owing to the destruction of their crops, which could have been harvested.
The fall armyworm have evaded most farms in the northern region. Farmers who are still battling the pests have complained of possible food shortage in the region. Farmers say their crops, including early maturing maize, which would have been due for harvest to take care of the home, have all been destroyed. Families are already skipping their meals as they complain of losing almost everything to the pests. The farmers say they have still not received support to fight the pests.
At Blihabla in the northern region, and here Yakubu has an 8-acre farm and everything is being taken over. He tells me he has no idea of government-free chemical distribution, so he's been battling the fall armyworm based on common knowledge. He has been using Omo, he has used neem tree, he has used some other herbs together with pepper.
When it is evening time, they come out and start destroying the maize. So they are appealing to the government to come to their aid to be able to control their farm and then drive away the armyworm.
Most farmers have given up on the fight, others hopeless, but still forging on with hope that they will at least salvage what is left on the farms.
The Chinchimso Al-Hidayah Islamic Primary School is in a deplorable state. A portion of the block has caved in, whilst other parts have developed cracks, threatening the lives of both pupils and teachers. A report by Ibrahim Abubakar and Gwendolyn Ajwa Afriba Akwa.
Established in 2003 as a private school, the Al-Hidayah school came as a sign of relief to both parents and pupils of Chinchimso and other surrounding communities. Prior to the establishment of the school, children of school-going age had to trek about 8 kilometers daily to Kutukum to access basic education. The long-distance commuting discouraged most children from going to school. The community, therefore, put up these structures to serve as classrooms in the quest to provide education to their wards. In 2008, the school was adopted by the government but had since not seen any improvement. The classroom blocks are in deplorable state, making it not conducive for effective teaching and learning. Portions of the school block collapsed and injured 2 pupils last year. Parts of the walls have developed cracks and the roofs leak badly anytime it rains, interrupting academic activities. Headmaster of the school said the situation is life-threatening.
When the classroom, when we had a child crying, we came out to find out that one of the block part fell on his leg. When we come to class, looking at the building, the children, and immediately it rains, we have to go home. And what we come here to do is all nothing.
He hinted of their intention to close down the school should authorities fail to act immediately on the appalling state of the school.
We even tried closing down the school because looking at the structures here, it's not good at all. And even give the teachers the audacity to teach. We are pleading on the government to come to our aid to help the children, to build up a better, conducive environment for the children and the teachers to help teaching and learning to go on.
Out of the 6 teachers, only 3 are trained, as most teachers also refuse postings to the school. PTA chairman Robert Dawuni was worried government is not forthcoming with assistance.
And the youth of Chinchemso, a farming community in the Etrimamponia district of the Ashanti region, are leaving the community in search of greener pastures due to the absence of electricity. Ibrahim Abubakar and Adjef Ribakwa, who visited the community, report the situation is raising the poverty levels in the area.
With a population of about 1,000, the Chinchemso community contributes significantly to cocoa and maize production in the Ashanti region. Residents, however, lack the most essential and basic amenities. The road network to the community becomes unmotorable after a downpour. Commercial vehicles have stopped rendering services to the community due to the poor state of the road. The only means of accessing the community is by hiring a vehicle or trekking the 10-kilometer stretch from Kotokwom to Chinchemso. The absence of electricity in the community is a major concern for residents. Emmanuel Kujo observed the situation has led to mass migration, with about 80% of the youth relocating to the urban centers. Residents feel neglected by successive governments. We even have to go to the next town to charge our phones. The roads are also in a poor state. We need help. 27-year-old Emmanuel Doji pleaded with government to extend electricity to the community to enable them explore other jobs apart from farming.
Electricity in this community would improve the lives of the youth, so we are pleading with the government to come to our aid.
The UN's Sustainable Development Goals require signatory countries to implement nationally appropriate social measures. It is meant to achieve substantial coverage of the poor and vulnerable by 2030.
Still in the Ashanti region, the Department of Urban Roads has started work on defective bridges in Kumasi following extensive reports by TV3 on the weak state of some bridges in the metropolis. The repairs of the bridges will bring relief to residents and motorists whose health and safety were at risk. A report by Benjamin Adu.
The Department of Urban Roads last week issued a statement on the closure of some roads where bridges need urgent repairs and maintenance. The Pakusu and Ejunasi main roads, as well as Boshan Road, will be closed for work to start on replacement of broken down culvert. TV3 News had reported on the weak nature of bridges, especially along the Boshan highways. Resident and road users accessing the Ahumasu main road to Domiabra, among other places, will have to make use of the road diversion alternatives. In the course of the construction, users on the main Kumasi-Accra main road intending to use Aprade Junction to Asokori Mampong will have to continue their journey to divert to Tech Police Station and turn to use the CCC road. As a result of the emergency maintenance work, most of the bridges have been closed to vehicular traffic. Road users in affected areas would have to follow road diversion signs. The works being carried out within 20 days by Asabia Engineering Limited involve repairing metal joint and broken slabs to make the bridges strong. The Chief Executive Officer of Asabia Engineering Limited, Samuel Oforilabi, spoke to our news team on the component of the work.
We are now doing the preliminary works. We are preventing the water from damaging the roads more. So maximum within the next 7 days, we start the main construction works.
Member of Parliament for Bantama, Daniel Abuaje, is happy about the intervention.
This is a major problem, and there are about almost 4 additional ones that needs to be dealt with. So I'm very happy, and I'm sure our people are going to appreciate what the government has begun, to do in terms of dealing with the issues that affect people's life.
The Assembly member for Abripo, Ohime Mo, was also grateful to the media.
Now let's move to Ashaiman, New York, where a 10-kilometer road connecting to Ashaiman in the Kpung Katamanso district of the Greater Accra region has worsened with the onset of the rains. Motorists blame it on neglect by city authorities.
This road connecting to Ashaiman leads to several areas, yet has not seen the blade of a bulldozer for years. Some sections are even caving in after years of constant erosion. Residents say shoddy work from the contractor is leading to intense deterioration. The untarred surface of the road has hampered smooth access for motorists who ply the route daily, and requests for repairs have not been fruitful.
You can see this is clay. Clay. How can you construct road with clay? The roads are bad. Now we are always struggling. Armed robbers are taking advantage of this road. The last time a woman had miscarriage on this road because of the bad nature of the road.
Whilst residents link the deterioration of the poor construction of storm drains and the road alike, lack of maintenance has also been cited. The road is gradually deteriorating with each rainfall. The road is so bad, it's so depressing, especially when we close from work. Residents contend petition to the Kpung Katamanso District Assembly for repairs are yet to be heeded.
More than 3,000 tons of waste generated in the Ashaiman municipality would be converted into energy, a move initiated by the Ashaiman Municipal Assembly in partnership with a team of Czech investors would also create 2,000 jobs for the teeming unemployed youth in the community.
The fight against ridding Ashaiman municipality of filth had been a major challenge. The municipality generates more than 3,000 tons of waste daily, which is not properly disposed of. Aside that, other surrounding communities also dump refuse in the town. The improper way of managing the waste has always been a source of concern to residents, compelling them to petition the Ministry of Sanitation for attention. A 7-member delegation of investors from Czech Republic have expressed interest to turn refuse generated into energy. During a feasibility study on both sides, the team promised to set up a factory next year if the land is provided on time. The Ashaiman Municipal Chief Executive, Albert Boachi Otri, pledged the Assembly's commitment to ensure the project comes on stream.
There are 3 systems we discuss. One is purely human interface. The semi-automated one is bulky waste. Outside that, all other refuse will be sorted out.
Now, inadequate infrastructure is affecting skills development at the Pentecost Vocational Center at Frankedria in the Eastern region. There are no classrooms, and a shed walled with iron sheets serves as a kitchen for the school. Meanwhile, 15 out of 55 rescued Chokobi girls have successfully completed their vocational courses.
The Baptist Vocational Training Center was established 20 years ago to provide training for freed Trokosi girls. The center was also to provide training for school dropouts and junior high school leavers who could not continue due to financial challenges. However, the center has no permanent classrooms. Students study on corridors of nearby houses. Again, a shed served as the kitchen. The only borehole in the school is broken down. Only 2 of the 6-unit classroom blocks started 5 years ago with internally generated funds have been completed. The Baptist Vocational Training Center has so far spent 626,688 cedis on training 55 girls in the last 3 years. The 15 girls who have successfully completed their training received 30,000 cedis as seed money. They again received working tools like gas cylinders, ovens, sewing machine, cooking utensils and hair dryers.
I'm pleading with the government to come and support us with the building facilities and equipment for us to admit more young people and train them in vocational and technical skills. Many developed countries depend on vocational and technical experts to develop their countries. When the youth are trained, they will establish their own businesses and will not pressure the government for white-collar jobs.
The Southeast Sector Head of Baptist Convention, Reverend Opon Ankuma, pledged continuous support
to train more less privileged individuals. Education is a very important area, the convention, since we believe it is a means to develop the people.
A beneficiary shared her joy.
The presentation that I have is oven and the cylinder, so I thank God for their life and the work that they have given to me.
The center, with support from partners from USA, has built a rest stop to employ trainees to help generate funds to support the center.
To health issues now, and one of the threats of the rainy season in the country is the outbreak of cholera. In 2016, a total of 787 cases were recorded nationwide. This year, 10 cases have been reported in the central region for the first quarter.
Cholera is an acute diarrheal infection caused by ingestion of food or water contaminated with the bacterium Vibrio cholerae. Cholera remains a global threat to public health. The World Health Organization estimates that every year there are roughly 1.3 to 4 million cases and 21,000 to 143,000 deaths worldwide due to cholera. In 2014, Ghana recorded one of the highest outbreaks of cholera, which led to the institution of the Integrated Standard Operating Procedures to contain the health menace and work on interventions to prevent future outbreaks.
We team up with the Ministry of Local Government, Ministry of Water Resources, the Ministry of Environment. All of us have come together to come out with these procedures. So this has helped us in the containment of the outbreak. And then also, Ghana Water Company has tried to improve in its water supply to areas that were not having water.
The subsequent years have seen an improvement, but not an entire eradication of the disease.
From the beginning of the year up to May, we recorded 10 cases, all coming from Cape Coast. But with the quick intervention, we were able to contain it. So as of now, we don't have new cases in the country.
Senior public health specialist with the Disease Surveillance Department of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Emmanuel Duche, further explains what accounts for the marked improvement.
As we intensify the education, people's habits, their behavior towards living in a sanitary environment, they try to improve on at least hand washing, at least improve on eating food whilst it's hot, and so on. So during this time, we have not had any more cases. What we've also introduced is the targeted wash intervention. That is, when a case is identified, the wash team that is made up of the health team, the environmental team, and then the water experts, they move to where the case is coming from, and then they quickly contain it there.
He, however, cautions the risk factors are still prevalent.
The poor environmental sanitation, and then people defecating openly. Most homes still don't have toilet facilities. So this is a call. The individual, as a person, you have to ensure that you improve your personal hygiene.
And now to the happy news that 2 Ghanaian science students have developed mobile applications that are able to reduce road traffic accidents and increase crime detection. The apps by the Regent University College of Science and Technology students were developed during a 4-week exchange program with a Korean university.
Ghana undoubtedly may not be counted among the technological giants of the world, but the country's human resource potentials are among the world's giants in various fields of endeavors. The latest, perhaps, is yet to come from the Regent University College of Science and Technology. Within just 4 weeks, 2 novices in web designs, Godfred Ejay Esubontain and Kingsley Babrew, went beyond just knowledge of acquisition. The 2 each developed innovative mobile applications to check and improve road safety and crime detection. Their feat came in an exchange program between the South Korean University, Ulsan National Institute of Science and Technology, UNIST, and Regent University College of Science and Technology. Godfred Ejay Esubontin came up with a mobile application that uses both voices and SMS messages to reduce a driver's contact with his phone when driving.
When you have it on your phone, automatically it will activate any message that comes in, it will send to that person. Just because the accident on the road has become too rampant, and with this, I think at least it can curb some of the accidents on our roads.
Kingsley Barbrew, on his part, developed this app that is able to trace objects, hence its importance in crime detection.
The app will also record the location of where the event took place. Then we can use it for further investigations.
A total of 47 Regent University students took part in the summer exchange program against 19 from Ulsan National Institute of Science and Technology, which included 2 Ghanaians.
Some of the students were very hardworking on the projects. They were very fruitful for them. So I think that's the biggest potential. They're very hardworking, very positive people.
A senior vice president of Regent University, Albert Kobla Amonu, expressed delight over the gains.
And I believe that what was initiated by the Chancellor this morning, you're going to work on it, possibly give us your perspectives regarding the way things should go, so that we will build a lasting relationship.
The guest student again presented assorted electronic gadgets, including mini drone, digital video cameras, and rioters to their host. The exchange program is the first of the series involving the Regent University College of Science and Technology and allied universities across the world.
In other news, the police administration has urged the public to be wary of internet and social media deals, especially those involving top police officers and other important personalities. The police call came in the wake of several fake advertisements using COP Kofi Boakye, the gender minister, and a host of others to perpetrate fraud.
Early last week, the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Utikwa Fisa Jabga, lamented the use of her name by some unscrupulous persons to defraud the poor and vulnerable people of their LEAP benefits. According to the minister, the criminal-minded persons created social media accounts with her name to communicate messages on the LEAP program, ostensibly to rob the people.
We do not charge or deduct anything from the 64 Ghana cedis, or from the 76 Ghana cedis, or from the 88 Ghana cedis, or from the 106 Ghana cedis. It is a disgrace and dishonorable to prey on the very vulnerable people that we are trying to help.
But she is not the first and only victim of the fraudulent act. Several other high-profile personalities, including former Director Generals of Police Operations, CID and administration, as well as former IGPs, were all targets of the criminals in the past. Others are former Cocoa Board Chief Executive Dr. Stephen Opuni, former presidents and some politicians. The latest is the current Director General of Police ICT at the police headquarters COP Nathan Kofi Boakye, but the fraudulence were already exposed before they could even strike. They used a strong police couple's image but had his name wrong. The motive behind their act is to deceive the public into believing they are communicating with the revered couple and eventually fell prey to their tricks. The police administration wants the public to be wary and cross-check their sources before committing to any monetary or material deals online.
Now, 2 people have been arrested for indiscriminate dumping of refuse at a site designated for a beautification project. They were apprehended by the Environmental Sanitation Task Force of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly. Aminedu was there for TV3 News.
Environmental offenders have been defecating openly and dumping solid waste at various locations within the Menchia area. The Metropolitan Assembly is enforcing its bylaws by arresting people found in the act. A combined team of the Assembly Sanitation Task Force and volunteers in the area apprehended 2 persons, 18-year-old Kofi Ade and Joanna Ajiman, 45 years. They were arrested for openly and indiscriminately dumping refuse at a site cleared and readied for tree planting under the KMA's City Beautification Project. Deputy Waste Management Director at KMA, John Yaudonko, said the task force will help put a stop to illegal dumping of refuse in the city. He appealed to residents to engage accredited waste management contractors to dispose of their waste.
This time KMA is up and doing, ensuring that every place is kept clean, and therefore we want the entire citizenry to support that exercise and also be policing each other. Anybody found dumping waste or throwing waste indiscriminately will not be spared by the law.
John Yaudonko says there are other measures to keep the city clean and called for the support of residents.
And a 2-year-old Xavier Clenham is suffering from kidney cancer. He needs 10,000 cedis to enable him undergo surgery. The family's inability to pay this amount has left the poor boy to fight for his dear life each passing day.
Clenham Xavier was diagnosed of cancer 3 months ago by doctors at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital after several spending huge sums of money at the Atomic Hospital on labs and medications. According to his father, Kumlak Chiku, Xavier complained of stomach pain severally whereafter many visits. Doctors then diagnosed of kidney cancer after several tests at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Little Clenham's only means of survival now is depending on some herbs prepared by a herbalist. The boy's condition deteriorates day by day, but the poor family, who depends only on the sale of well water, is pleading for support for the boy.
I sent it to some of my colleagues too. They are responding that maybe they will help, but up to now, I've not heard anything of them now. So because of that, we are still in the house. We are still in the house looking for the money. You don't know where the money will come from. So we are pleading with the whole world or the whole nation if they can help us to save the life of my little boy, Xavier Teku.
TB3 Social Support Desk is seeking support from all well-meaning Ghanaians and philanthropists to help come to their aid and help save their son's life.
Oh, this is really serious.
Yes, absolutely. And it's heartbreaking if political parties cannot come out with policies to address such social issues. We need you to come out with strong policies to give us a strong social support system.
But meanwhile, no contribution is too small to save the life of our little Clenham. You're still live on News 360, still to come.
Ghana Cocoa Board warns licensed buying companies to desist from buying cocoa smuggled from Ivory Coast.
In news elsewhere, fighting between 2 rebel groups broke out on Sunday in South Sudan's southern equatorial region.
Right, we have details when we return.
Thanks for staying with us. The Ghana Cocoa Board has sent a warning to licensed buying companies to desist from attempts to buy cocoa smuggled from Ivory Coast. At the Olam Ghana Managers Conference at Bonso in the Eastern Region, the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Cocoa Board, Nana Odro-Wusu, announced that Cocoa Board will maintain the current cocoa price in the country. Report by Benjamin Adu.
The conference, which took place at the Bonso Agricultural College in the Eastern Region, brought together about 300 Olam cocoa managers from all the cocoa-producing districts and regions across the country. The event was to enable Olam Ghana meet all managers and assess their performance over the years and also plan for the future. The head of Olam Business in Ghana, Eric Asari-Butchie, said they believe in growing responsibly by investing in the people and communities in which they operate. He commended managers and workers for their hard work during the season.
In the last 2 years, we paid about 1.7 million Ghana cedis when we did our premium lunch in Seriyuaso, Akakrum. We moved this to about 2.5 million when we met in Wasa in last year. I'm happy to announce that at the close of this ceremony, we'll be launching our premium that will be paying across to our farmers to the tune of 7 million Ghana cedis.
The Deputy Managing Director, Quality Control, Dr. Ajiman Jomo, was concerned about the quality of the country's cocoa beans.
Quality control is operating under a certain principle, and we have the backing. We have been fashioning out such with a code of practice which have been approved by Food and Agriculture Organization, Federation of Cocoa Commerce, International Cocoa Organization, ICCO, and also our own Ghana Cocoa Industry Regulation Act, 1968 Act.
The Deputy Chief Executive of Ghana Cocoa Board, Nana Odro Owusu, disagrees that the produce is being smuggled into Ghana. He warned that Cocoa Board will not accept any such practice.
Smuggling cocoa to Ghana has implications on the quality of our cocoa. We will also not relent in our fight against smuggling of cocoa inputs outside the borders of Ghana. We take this forum to invite you as watchdogs in our fight against cross-border trading of cocoa and cocoa inputs.
Deserving farmers were awarded for their contributions towards the production of certified cocoa beans and premium. The 4-day conference was held under the theme Conquer, Sustain and Redefine.
Also, a night refuse clearing exercise introduced by the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly has improved the sanitation situation in the central business district of Edum Ketia and other places. Now, the exercise is to extend to other suburbs in the city to improve on sanitation in the city of Kumasi. Benjamin Edu reports.
The cleanup exercise, which is an initiative of the new mayor of Kumasi, Osei Esibe Enchi, is to help improve the sanitation challenges in the city. Since the inception of the exercise about a month ago, the pile of refuse that usually engulf the central business district is no more. The cleanup usually starts at about 8 p.m. and continues till every single refuse is cleared from the street. At one of such exercises on Saturday, officials of KMA, assembly members, fire service personnel and some residents joined to clean the metropolis. The Kumasi Metropolitan Chief Executive, Osei Esibe Enchi, gave the assurance that the exercise would be sustained.
The fire tenders are there, they are ready to support us because with their high hydrants, they also help us in cleaning the streets from dust, and at the same time, the choke gutters, they are able to help us to blow the gutters and to distil the gutters.
He said the assembly will prosecute people who fail to adhere to its bylaws.
The Transport Minister, Kweku Ofori-Siama, is worried about the dwindling fortunes of a state transport company and the company property, which have left in ruins for years in the Ashanti region. The minister said government is committed to blocking all revenue leakages, which he says are crippling operations.
The sector minister says, as part of government's drive to turn around the fortunes of the STC, the Transport Ministry is supporting to acquire 100 new buses and improve infrastructure of bus terminals.
I was alarmed when I recently visited the Kumasi branch of the STC company to hear that the 21.7 acre land belonging to the company has reduced to just about 9 acres. This development will hamper operations and future development.
Inaugurating a new STC board, the minister charged members of the board to revive the business.
It is our expectation that the new board will take up this challenge to ensure that the company is revived to to the level of winning back its share of the market and taking its place as a market leader.
The board chairman, Samuel Opong, promised to support the company to provide the best for the Ghanaian transport market.
Minister of Land and Natural Resources John Peter Amewu has tasked the Lands Commission to fast-track land registration within 30 days. The minister implored the commission to develop a database system which will help track lands and protect unwarranted sale of property.
Land acquisition for investment has remained a hurdle for decades. Prospective but frustrated businessmen have often repatriated capital to other less cumbersome destinations. But whose responsibility is it to check the complete disregard for laid down rules and procedures in land acquisition? It appears not to be an offense any longer to develop a structure on a piece of land earmarked for other projects. People start to develop before attempts are made to legalize the process, with the situation increasingly turning land acquisition and development into complete lawlessness. The Land and Natural Resources Minister, John Peter Amewu, has issued a stern warning to the Land Commission to remove bottlenecks associated with land title acquisition.
We're going to minimize on some of those difficulties. Number one, the title registration, as I said, the issue of the land gas. And the critical one is just the wanton, distributions and sales of public land for the interests of private interests, private pockets.
Inaugurating the Greater Accra Land Commission, the minister also charged them to redeem the sinking reputation of the commission in altering and falsifying land documents by staff.
The allocations, of course, are not right. Of course, we have a right to cancel some of those allocations. I can assure you, a lot more have already been cancelled, and offer letters has been rejected because we want to make sure things are done properly.
This is News360. A technology to prevent diarrhea in the country has been piloted in the Volta region. TipiTap, introduced by UNICEF in January this year, has been able to reduce diarrhea cases by 10%.
Millions of children each year are reported to die globally from diarrhea and acute respiratory infections. According to the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, diarrhea remains the leading killer of children, accounting for 9% of all deaths among children under age 5 worldwide in 2015. This phenomenon is as a result of poor adherence to personal hygiene. In a bid to prevent mortality amongst children, UNICEF, with funding support from Unilever UK, has introduced TipiTap, a simple, indigenous, economical and effective hand-washing technology in the country. The project, piloted in January this year, has been scaled across 3,200 public basic schools in all 25 districts of the Volta region. Some government institutions, health facilities and homes have also adopted the technology. The initiative seeks to use pupils to stimulate personal hygiene change in their respective communities. 7 months on, a team from UNICEF were in the central Tongbando and Biakoya district, as well as the whole municipality in the Volta region, to monitor the level of change and adaptability. Some teachers said the inception of the TipiTaps has reduced the rates of absenteeism caused by sickness.
This has even increased the enrollment within the shortest possible time of the term. And there are a lot of materials in the environment which the people around don't know how best they should put it into good use. So with the TipiTaps, we have decided, even though we were taught to use liquid soap and other soap, but we have increased our technology to use lemon and ash.
Some pupils shed light on the impacts of the new technology.
It makes us healthy. When we wash our hands, it cleans germs from our hands so that we cannot be sick.
As part of the hand-washing campaign, Unilever has trained teachers in liquid soap making. Statistics from the Volta Regional Health Directorate indicate that diarrhea causes reduced from 74,038 in 2014 to 73,468 in 2015. The figure further reduced to 72,337 in 2016. But there has been a sharp decline in diarrhea cases from 72,333 to 65,192 in the first half of 2017 alone.
Now that we've seen that it works with the school children, it means that we have to intensify the education among school children.
In the past, we were promoting hand washing using the Veronica buckets, and these seem to be too costly. When you look at the tippy tap, you can have maximum just 5 cedis, and then you can have it in a school.
A member of the Unilever communication team, Cynthia Yaro, hinted their outfit would consider a funding proposal to scale up the tippy-tap technology across the country. Currently, hand washing with soap and tippy-tap is being promoted in more than 17 countries. UNICEF has indicated that effective hand washing can reduce the risk of diarrhea by 47% and acute respiratory infections by 23%.
Now, in other parts of the world, such as India and the Arab world, the practice of piercing the body is considered a part of their culture. But the practice has become the order of the day for most Ghanaians, especially celebrities and other individuals. Gift Obeng finds out more about body piercing in Ghana.
Body piercing, though an old practice, was limited to the ears, mouth and nose. It is the art of puncturing or cutting a part of the human body and creating an opening in which a piece of jewelry may be worn. The news team visited one of the shops where body piercing is done in Accra. Moses Odingbe has mastered the act, and according to him, most people pierce their bodies for fashion. He disclosed that individuals visit the shop on a daily basis to have their body pierced. When asked if clients complain of infections as a result of the piercing, he said they come once a while and the only help he offers them is to take off the rings from the slots. Facial piercing has been practiced in most societies throughout history, but piercing nipples and genitals is largely a modern Western phenomenon. Moses enumerated some of the parts people frequently pierce.
We have the nose piercing, the ear, the tragus, the belly, the eye, the clitoris, and all that. Each person, when you come, we use new stuff for you. We don't sterilize, we use new one.
But does this have any health implications? The medical superintendent of Ghana South Municipal Hospital, Dr. Jarvis Abila, noted it is unsafe to pierce any part of the body.
Piercing your body on your own really is a danger. It gives room for you to possibly introduce bacteria, other organisms to the body that can bring about disease and threaten life as well. Due to beliefs, cultures and other vices, people sort of tend to do these things, but in real life they are a danger.
He indicated people come to the hospital on several occasions with some strange injuries, but failed to tell exactly the cause of the injury until further inquiries. Dr. Abila further stressed body piercing paves way for bacteria to enter the body and develops infections, especially around the stomach, and may need an operation. He highlighted some of the effects of piercing as bleeding, recalcitrant sore and death.
You might pierce, and you can't tell which organ is close. It could be the intestine, it could be any internal organ. It could open way for an infection to go inside the abdominal cavity and might lead to you warranting surgery one day. If you are lucky, it might just infect the skin alone.
Medical officers say piercing of any part of the body may be injurious to health.
Right, body piercing. You're watching News360. When we return, there will be sports.
It's time for sports with me, Thierry Nyan, right here on News360. Now, we start off in the Ghana Premier League. An outstanding game was cleared between Ashanti Gold and Wafa. Ashanti Gold defeated Wafa by 2-0 and now go 12 on the league standings. Hans Kofi and Samed Ibrahim scored the crucial goals for the Miners as the former Premier League champions picked the 3 points for the first time in the last 3 games. The results means that Wafa still maintain the second spot with 43 points, while Ashanti Gold climb up to 12th position with 31 points ahead of Liberty Professionals. All right, now let's go straight to England, where it was a matter of when for Nemanja Matic. He was sure to leave Chelsea, but to where? And now we seem to have the answer. Manchester United are closing in on signing the Serbia midfielder from Chelsea for £40 million. Matic, who is 28 years old, will be United's third summer buy, following £31 million defender Victor Lindelof from around, the Italian league. Now, Romelu Lukaku has also stepped in from Everton for £75 million. Nemanja Matic is now looking to do everything possible to leave Chelsea after he was told by Antonio Conte he is no longer part of the squad next season. Now, his exit had been expected after the Blues signed France international Temue Bakayoko, who is 22 years old, from French champions AS Monaco in a reported £40 million deal earlier this month.